All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're going to keep this clean. Touch gloves and let's do it.
These two fighters have had respect for each other since the matchup was made last weekend. Рафаэль Dos Anjos grateful that Paul Felder was willing to step up and dance for 5 possible rounds. Paul Felder, from training for a triathlon to the main event. Рафаэль Dos Anjos in the gold, minus 200 as the favorite tonight is the Brazilian. Paul Felder, the 7th ranked lightweight in the black, plus 170 as the underdog.
Paul talked to us earlier this week about the use of elbows. We all know Paul Felder has tremendous elbows, used them to great effect in many, many fights. And he said he sees some opening for Dos Anjos as he comes in getting over aggressive. He's going to catch him with the elbow. So far, Paul looking very sharp.
Body kick from Dos Anjos. Big left from Dos Anjos, backs up Felder. When he dips and grabs the leg. So the matchup was Islam Makhachev, excuse me. Of course, known for his grappling. He's a southpaw wrestler. And instead, RDA is matched up with an orthodox striker who wants to get in a phone booth.
And that's the big kick for Dos Anjos, the body kick from the southpaw position. I called Jason Perillo earlier. I said, in your opinion, what is the strongest part of the game of Dos Anjos? And he said the kicks, the body kicks, the calf kicks, just generally the kicks. And we see from a southpaw position, that body kick is right to the liver. So Dos Anjos is cut already.
Yeah. Well, I think it was that spinning elbow from Felder. He has shown the ability to time those spinning attacks through his UFC career.
And there it is. There's the first shot. This is crucial. Dos Anjos has the hands together. He's probably going to go for a ride here. Let's see what happens. And he's down. See, this is huge for Рафаэль. High-level black belt jiu-jitsu. Been doing jiu-jitsu for a long time. Comes from Brazil, clearly. This is his bread and butter. This is what he likes to do.
Parlayed a 2003 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World Championship into a mixed martial arts career when he turned to be a pro fighter in 2004.
And listen, for Paul, of course, everybody trains all aspects of mixed martial arts. And of course, he's paid a lot of attention to the ground game. But Рафаэль has a clear advantage here, in my opinion.
Well, Felder said, I know I'll be on my back at some point. I just got to be able to get up. And
yeah, no, absolutely.
On that now as he sits his back to the fence.
See, that's what you have to do. It doesn't matter necessarily if the guy's better than you at jiu-jitsu. If you don't engage in the jiu-jitsu, if you play a very defensive game and just try and get back to your feet and minimize the risk, then it's a lot harder to be caught in a submission. However, Dos Anjos isn't necessarily looking for a submission. He wants a dominant position to put you down and then put you to sleep. And now we see him with a standing head and arm choke. If he gets the right leg, he could sweep Felder down to the floor. Good job by Paul, though.
Fighting it off after he returned to his feet. We approach 2 minutes to go in this first of 5 possible rounds. Knees to the body from Dos Anjos. Dips to change levels as Felder fights it off. Lands an uppercut on his way out.
Great defense by Paul. As you said, nice knee on the break as well.
It was a left hand that grazed above the right eyebrow of Dos Anjos, which caused the cut.
Tell you, Paul looks sharp.
Yeah.
Very, very fast.
Body kick from Dos Anjos.
Oh, good left.
And he follows it up with a left cross. I ran into Duke Rufus, head coach of Paul Felder, earlier today, and he was talking about how fast Felder was. This is not the same Felder because his body is so much different. Training for that triathlon.
Well,
said he was snapping the kicks and snapping his punches in a different way.
Well, it's not just that. He hasn't had 2 months in training camp wearing his body down. When you're in the camp, right, you get beaten up on a daily basis. You spar 3 times a week. And yes, you need to do that to get your timing, to get the conditioning, to get the stamina, right? But if you can take the fight on short notice and be in shape without going through that, you will be fresher, you will be sharper, and you will be more confident and stronger. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience.
Each guy throwing, taking it, and firing back.
Oh, clash of heads there. Both guys went for the takedown.
Not something we see every day from Felder.
Hey, listen, mix it up. Why not? And listen, look at his fight against Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
Right? A very, very dangerous jiu-jitsu man. He put him on his back and he pounded him out with elbows.
Felder drops to a knee here. 30 seconds to go as Dos Anjos has it back to the ground.
Nice work by Dos Anjos here. It's kind of a tricky position. Paul's going to try and get back up. He's got that leg isolated. There it is, good work.
Heavy elbow for Dos Anjos. Keeps it in the clinch. Final seconds of round number one.
Whoa!
Another big
Heavy
shot from Dos Anjos. There's the horn.
All right, let's take a look at this huge shot, a left hook right at the end of the round. Just caught him on the forehead. Fortunately for Paul, there was a lot of power in that one. Take another look, boom, clips the forehead, and the round ends.
You heard the instructions from Duke Rufus in the corner of Paul Felder. Something of note for Rafael Dos Anjos. He lives in California full-time. He's become a naturalized U.S. citizen. Jason Perillo, his boxing coach, but he actually spent this camp down in Rio de Janeiro in his native Brazil and brought his whole family down there for it.
Yeah, that's right. He's been down there for about 4 months, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously preparing for a high-level grappler, went down there, rounding out his skill set. So this is a complete change of opponent and complete change of styles. So that's why also you got to give respect to Dos Anjos. It takes two to tango.
Yeah.
Yes, Paul is a gangster for doing this, but so is Rafael. You know, there's a lot at stake here. He wants to be the champion again. You know, and a switch of opponents so late in the game is a dangerous risk.
Well, also for Dos Anjos, perhaps even more to gain for the fact that Felder is the 7th ranked lightweight inside the top 10 if he wants to chase that belt. Makachev sitting there at number 12 and certainly appears to be on his way up. Heavy elbow from Felder after taking a right from Dos Anjos.
Oh, that was a good calf kick. On the inside though, not quite as damaging. That's the problem for the southpaw. And a lead advancing elbow. That straight left of Dos Anjos is so fast. There's no wind up, just boom, just fires it straight forward. So nice and fast.
Connects with it again, follows
He's gonna shoot.
right, Dos
Anjos is gonna shoot. He's paused by the fence. There it is. And this right now is the battle. Can Dos Anjos get his hands together? If he gets his hands together, Paul goes down. If Paul separates his legs as if he's doing the splits, obviously it's a wider space to join his hands together, and you can't get the takedown.
He's able to fight off the hands of RDA, but he's still forcing the action back along the fence. Unofficially, knee as RDA changed levels. Look out. Looks to grab the single leg, now shakes it off once again. Unofficially 1 of 5 on takedown attempts for Dos Anjos.
Oh, nice
fires
elbow.
another elbow
There.
from in close.
Got him in the eye, look at that, all class. And Dos Anjos, as I say, he's a real fighter. He's like, yeah, don't worry, I'm good, let's go.
30th UFC appearance here tonight for Rafael Dos Anjos. Big body kick for RDA.
Paul is exceptionally sharp tonight, the fastest I've ever seen him. And right as I say that, a blistering left hand from
That's
Dos
straight
Anjos.
left from Dos Anjos. That has been working for the first round and a half. Trevor Whitman has been with us all night. Trevor, this is right in your wheelhouse.
Well, I think Dos Anjos' key is to keep Paul past the black line, close to the cage. I think it's just opposite for Paul. Keep it in the center like he's doing right now, where he's picking shots. I really like how he thought to throw elbows from the start of this fight. I think that's key. Those elbows that he's throwing are very dangerous. He lands one of those, that'll change the fight. What a good fight.
Oh, this is super high level stuff. I mean, this is as good as it gets. A beautiful body shot by Dos Anjos there. There it is,
Another
that
level
black
change.
line. When you get into that black line, that's when you can shoot, because your opponent will hit the fence. They can't back up, they can't sprawl. And once again, Dos Anjos trying to get the hands together around the backside of Paul.
Felder so
Oh, nicely done. Nice foot sweep.
sneaky trip there from Dos Anjos.
The problem for Dos Anjos here, though, Paul's back is against the fence. So whilst, you know, he's sat down, he's not flat on his back. Rafael needs to pull him off the fence or use his forearm to push the forehead of Paul Felder to the left direction. If he does that, he can sit him down completely. If he goes the other way, Paul's right, he'll end up taking the back. And that allows Paul, whilst he's at danger of getting choked out, to probably get back to his feet, fight the hands, turn into Rafael, and then he's, you know, they're back on the feet.
Felder back to his feet after the second takedown of Dos Anjos, who might be chasing another one as we approach 1 minute to go in round 2.
Well, that's the smart plan for Dos Anjos. Of course, he needs to use the strikes to set up the takedowns. But we see, in the grappling department, you know, he has an advantage there. On the feet, it's anybody's fight. They're both doing fantastic work, landing good shots.
Felder using that fence to his advantage to keep himself upright. And just feeling that pressure from RDA as he leans in with the shoulder. Another explosion here. We'll look at the striking numbers. RDA mixing it up, head and body nicely. Felder mostly to the head of Dos Anjos, but he's thrown in some leg strikes as well. Felder escapes. Front
Nice
kick to
body
back him
kick.
up.
Nice front kick, I mean, right to the midsection. Some good sting on that one.
5 seconds of round number 2 and another heavy left from Rafael Dos Anjos. Pretty good 10 minutes from these two lightweights.
Well, here we see Paul Felder, a nice lead jab and then beautiful body shot, but he hit the elbow of Felder there. I mean, this entire round was back and forth. That just clipped the top of the forehead, sorry, the head, straight left. That left hand of Dos Anjos is so fast tonight.
It has repeatedly found the target through the first 2 rounds. Paul Felder doing a little housekeeping there.
Fight.
So as we get later and later into this fight, the gas tank, the cardio of each of these fighters may be in question. Of course, Felder with just the 5 days notice. And for Rafael Dos Anjos, he's gone 25 minutes in the UFC 6 times in his career. This is his 11th main event.
Well, that's right. I mean, of course, Dos Anjos is prepared for a 5-round fight. And we spoke about Paul Felder training for a triathlon, which, of course, is high-level cardio. But they are different energy systems that you're using in the body. You're mixing in here, it's strength with cardio, it's muscle endurance. It's not only, you know, cardiovascular endurance, it's muscle endurance. That could pay dividends for Dos Anjos the longer this fight goes as it gets into the championship rounds.
And we know where RDA wants this fight. Once again, he backs Felder up, changed levels, now he stands up.
It's incredibly difficult wrestling or fighting takedowns for 5 rounds. Of course, Paul's done this for a very, very long time, so the muscle memory is there. But still, in that regard, I guess you have to favor Dos Anjos.
And Dos Anjos was applying the pressure there before he came in close, and now Felder has outside position here. We'll see what RDA does with his back to the fence. Again, first lightweight appearance in 4 years for Rafael Dos Anjos, who won the lightweight championship at UFC 185.
Rafael trying to get that underhook with the right arm desperately there. If he gets that underhook, he can reverse this position. Ooh, just missed with that elbow.
Elbow on the break, and RDA goes right back to changing
That was a
levels.
nicely timed takedown.
Lands a takedown. 3 minutes to work on the ground for RDA.
See, Paul again, he's gonna give up his back as he tries to get to his feet here. Dos Anjos is gonna go to the left and try and take the back. Step back over into the half guard. He's going to try and flatten him out. That's the smart move for Dos Anjos. Get him flat on his back. Once you get him flat on his back, he can start to use the jiu-jitsu, start to use the ground and pound. In this weird scenario where Felder kind of has his back presented, but they're not quite down, it's hard to do anything because no position has been established. But now Paul is down. He has the back. Nicely done by Paul, though. He's scrambling up.
Back to the feet they go. I showed you the takedown numbers. Unofficially 3 takedowns for Dos Anjos, who's thinking about another one. Just a physically taxing pace, both with the offensive wrestling of RDA and then trying to fight off the takedowns.
No, this is horrible. You got no idea, Brendan. Maybe one day I'll show you.
I would like that.
I'll give you a bit of razzing up against the fence. Sounded a bit weird.
Well, Rafael Dos Anjos and Felder just sharing a laugh there as they continue to clinch along the fence.
Yeah, there's no bad blood here. They respect one another as people, as fathers, as martial artists. This is, you know, it's made the best man win.
Ooh, big elbow from RDA. Felder swinging back.
Felder feinting the uppercut there, trying to deter Dos Anjos from shooting for the double leg. You know, you show that uppercut, you think, hold on a minute, maybe I won't do that because I don't want to walk onto an uppercut.
RDA's in on another one.
Yeah, this is a grueling fight, absolutely exhausting. And it's kind of smart of Dos Anjos to do this because, as I said before, the energy system of Paul Felder isn't catered to this right now. It's catered for long-distance cardio. That said, there is muscle memory involved. So Paul Felder's doing very, very well. Paul's going to get off the fence, though, in these next 2 rounds. He can't... Whoa! Look at that.
Big slam from Dos Anjos as he lifted Felder off the ground. And now we'll try to salt away this 3rd round with some more top control.
He's trying to get mount here. The clock's ticking away, though. See the left instep there. Let it go.
He gets the head free as well. Does he step over to side control? 4 takedowns now through the first 3 rounds for RDA.
Trying to lock up a Kimura, but he's got 10 seconds.
Final seconds until we get involved in our main event rounds of 4 and 5. We'll see round number 4 that's coming up. Set to go for round number 4. Significant strikes were basically at a dead heat in round number 1. Felder had the better of it in rounds 2 and 3, but of course that top control time and all those takedowns for RDA. Interesting message from Duke Rufus, who says, we need a finish. Basically said, we need to take him out to win. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that is an interesting observation by Duke. But what Paul has to do, and Duke said this as well, he's got to stay off the fence. He has to, by all accounts, stay away from the fence. That's where Rafael's having the success. That's where he's getting the takedowns. In the open, we see here, good work from Felder. And he's coming out here hard with a lot of fire.
Trevor Whitman, what have you noticed through 3 rounds?
Well, I thought everything they said in the corner was awesome. I would say the same thing. You give him another round to get pushed up against a cage, he's not going to have the energy to get a finish. I like how he's keeping it in the center right here. But let's not take away like what Dos Anjos is doing. He's fighting brilliantly. He's doing what you need to do against Felder when Felder doesn't have a full training camp. Put him against the cage, get that lactic acid in the shoulders, and I know Felder's legs are feeling it. Him being out here and holding the center right now is way harder than it looks. I'm really impressed with how Felder has fought through this so far. He just got to keep it in the center.
Another body kick from RDA. Thank you, Trevor.
Yeah, and that was a heavy body kick. I mean, you could hear the slap.
Felder tries to return the favor up top. Another body kick there from Rafael Dos Anjos. Felder obliging the corner to keep it in the center through the early part of this 4th round.
And listen, you just got to think to yourself, I mean, how good does Rafael Dos Anjos look at 155? Back in his natural weight class, remember, this is where he was the champion, and he's obsessed with becoming the champion again. Certainly with Khabib retiring recently, he believes he's one of the top guys in place with a win tonight to really fight for the belt sometime soon. And here he is once again with Paul up against the fence. Nicely defended so far by Paul.
Tried to lift him off the ground, couldn't do so. 3 minutes to go, round 4, Trevor.
Yeah, I want to talk about position again. He held that center for a minute. Now the hard part is, how does he get back to that center? Because when you get your back up against that octagon, it is so hard to get back to the center, especially when you got that lactic acid building in your legs. And again, Dos Anjos is fighting the right fight right now. I really feel it's a dangerous fight for Dos Anjos in the center. Right here, I think he's going to control it and pretty much take it to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul is looking incredibly sharp. In fact, considering he had no training camp, I think his striking is the fastest it's ever been, and he looks very dangerous. Against the fence here, I mean, it's clear who's in control. Dos Anjos is bossing him around a little bit. He's getting the takedowns. He's landing shots from the clinch. So, yeah, to Trevor's point, Paul has to turn him. He's going to get an underhook, turn him So it's Dos Anjos up against the fence and then back away. However, easier said than done. There it is, though. Now he's going to disengage.
Right. Still has the hands locked. Knee to the body. And Dos Anjos able to reverse position once again.
Yeah, Rafael needs to get the head position. His head needs to come to the left side of Paul's. It will stop those elbows, and it will also make sure he's fully in control of this position. And Dos Anjos, he set his stall out. By this point now, Paul knows exactly what's going on. He's going to push me against the fence. He's going to hit me with some shots, and then he's going to try and take me down. Oh, he's looking for the tie clinch.
Felder circles out to the right. And each fighter using the right hand to work the body with some little shots. Now they separate and return back to the center.
Oh, nice job.
Stiff jab from RDA. Good combination from Felder. Big left from Felder as he swings big.
Yeah,
Felder
Paul
trying
is
to put it together here.
He's looking for the knockout.
Stiff counter shot from Dos Anjos, and he saw the spin coming. Felder's over.
Whoa, there you
Takedown
go.
for Felder with
There's a
30
way to
seconds
mix
to go
things
in round
up.
4.
Yeah, Dos Anjos is a very, very tough man to hold down. Very tough. Look at that. Pushes down on the head. Perfect defense. He's going to suck that leg out and he'll be back to his feet. And while that was good for Paul to do that, it's also sapping tremendous amounts of his energy going into the 5th and final round. This is very, very hard, and it's way harder to try and get the takedown than what it is to defend.
Felder's forehead is a bloody mess after those big shots and the heavy exchanges. Dos Anjos able to escape and throw some big punches. Oh, they're going to take an extra look at that cut.
Well, this is what caused the cut. Left hand, wait for it, it's coming. Boom. Was that the one? Yeah, you see,
yeah.
He felt it, opened up a big cut straight away. Look at that.
A lot of scar tissue on each of these guys. And man, the cut man trying to stop the bleeding any way he can, but it's still dripping. It's a Paul Felder fight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of in a bad position. You see the flow of the blood is going down the nose, but as this round progresses, it will start to get in the eye.
Big right from Felder to start off the 5th and final round. Trevor?
You know what I love in the corner is when someone can hit a button. And Duke Rufus said, your father, your daughter, there's little things that you can say to someone that will bring you out of that hurt. When he sat down on the stool, he looked like he had nothing. After he said that, he took a different breath, and I want to see if this has anything to do with the way he comes out. I love that type of stuff.
Yeah, same here, Trevor. You know, at a time like this, I don't want technical advice. I don't want step to the left and look for the left hook. I want something that's going to make me dig deep, remind me of why I do this and what I'm fighting for. And to your point, Trevor, that's exactly what Duke Rufus did. And he came out hard and fast and looked sensational, but unfortunately, this is exactly where Dos Anjos wants him, and this is exactly where he has him.
Cut is back opened up after the exchange in the center of the octagon in the early part of round 5. Rafael Dos Anjos became the second fighter in UFC history to pass 7 hours of total octagon time. He came into tonight's second place only to Frankie Edgar. How about that for those guys? Veterans, more than 7 hours in the world-famous octagon. And another takedown for RDA.
So this is big for Rafael. Now it's a proper takedown, right? It's out in the open. It's away from the fence. This gives him a chance to try and, you know, use his superior jiu-jitsu properly. You know, he can look to pass guard, look for submissions, beat him, you know, with punches and elbows to try and set up a proper submission. Against the fence, it's much more difficult than that. The fence is a barrier. It stops you stepping over. It gives your opponent something to lean on to try and stand up. But as I said, for Dos Anjos now in this final round, this is big that they're in the open.
Dos Anjos 10 wins by submission in his career. Paul Felder has never been submitted. Right now, it's Dos Anjos just applying that top pressure.
Well, he's going to try and pass to mount. He's trying to push on that left leg of Felder and then step his own right leg over the top into mount. And of course, we've seen if he gets a head and arm choke, he has a tremendous squeeze.
That's how he ended the fight against Kevin Lee last year in Rochester.
And he's
trying to
looking
do it
for
right
it
now.
He's looking for it. That's why his head is to the canvas like that.
Halfway through the 5th and final round.
Cannot make a mistake here. He has to know what Dos Anjos is doing. He has to keep... Rafael's head is on the floor. Paul has to keep his arm on the floor. Okay, he can't lift it up because that's what he's looking for Paul to do. He's out of danger right now.
And look at Dos Anjos staying busy on the ground. Not just top control, but chasing submissions, ground and pounds.
Listen, that's the way Rafael Dos Anjos fights. You know, he's not there to win by decision. He's a warrior. He looks for the finish all the time, whether it's a knockout or a submission. And that's why he's respected all over the world.
Scramble by Felder there for a moment, but we're under 2 minutes left, and Dos Anjos in the driver's seat here. Time running out for Felder to try to make something happen.
Yeah, he's maybe trying to look for a Kimura. Paul's going to work his way back to his feet, it looks like. He's going to stand up with the right leg. He's going to put his foot on the floor, and then he's going to push up. Boom, there's a knee.
Control time for Rafael Dos Anjos. I mean, basically, he's averaging half of each round in control. Felder's still on both knees.
Let me tell you, those knees hurt a lot. It doesn't have the impact of something to the face. You don't get the blood, but trust me, you feel just as much pain, if not more.
Felder back to his feet. Can he get free now is the question.
Bang, man, let's go.
Dos Anjos looking for another takedown.
I mean, you got to give it to Paul. I mean, he is fighting with for his life here. He did very well to stay on the feet. Herb Dean saying, let's work. It's good balance by Paul.
And how about that strength and the cardio of Rafael Dos Anjos back at 155 pounds. Not undersized anymore. And this is part of what got him all the way to a UFC lightweight championship. One that he desperately wants again, and looking to put the finishing touches on this one in the final 20 seconds.
Yeah, there it is. Drives him down to his back. He's going to try and finish strong for this last 10 seconds. Paul's going to give up his back. He's probably going to eat a couple of punches here to finish the fight.
RDA steps over. 5 full rounds between Rafael Dos Anjos and Paul Felder, and jubilation in the corner of Rafael Dos Anjos. They believe he has done enough, and start to finish, Rafael Dos Anjos with the perfect game plan for this fight. Hey, is he back in the lightweight division? The official decision is in for this main event, and for that, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Chris Lee scores the contest, 48-47, Felder. Sal Diamano scores it, 50-45, Dos Anjos. And Derek clearly scores the contest, 50-45, for the winner by split decision, Rafael